Folks presents to you Honest Talk.
Hi folks, today we are back with one more great and leading personality, Madam Arshi Ayub Mohammad Zaveri, CEO of Trust with Trade Group and Senior Advisor, Royal Family Offices, United Arab Emirates. Arshi Ayub Zaveri is dedicated to 12 plus years of professional experience, Royal Family Offices of Abu Dhabi and Dubai, in active partnerships that necessitate substructuring of strategic initiations, economic and political management, business and financial aid, along with overall assistance for the MENA and Asia Pacific. Completed academic credentials in public policy economics from University of Oxford. The experience is varied and awarded by globally accredited institutions within several leadership initiatives and efforts within infrastructure development, oil and gas, energy, fintech and blockchain, education in the MENA region. Passionate about encouraging ventures of social entrepreneurship, impact investing and women-led startups. So, let's begin our talk with our today's guest, Madam Arshi Ayub Mohammad Zaveri.
So first of all, ma'am, I welcome you to in this session. Thank you so much for joining and agreeing to share your thoughts with us. We are extremely very happy to have you for today's talk.
Thank you very much, Harsh. I'm looking forward to our interaction. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's our pleasure to have you. So moving to the topic of today's session, which we have chosen is the qualities that defines a successful business leader. Ma'am, as we all know that you have around 12 plus year of experience, ma'am, it's a kind of request to you kindly explain our viewers what are the qualities and skills needed to be a strong leader.
I think one needs to understand and identify themselves as leaders, number one. We all are leaders in our own capacity, whether in a personal or a professional way. But there are some key things that are extremely essential for everyone to know. And I think we should highlight that whenever we can. First and foremost is cultivating resilience. These are individuals who can demonstrate the ability to recover and learn from challenging situations and changing circumstances. It's really associated with optimism, managing strong emotions, responding to opportunities, and most importantly, being forward-thinking. So that is something that we need to identify, adapt in our own personal lives, and many of these factors are extremely essential for being able to lead effectively. I think UAE as a country has been extremely resilient thanks to the incredible leaders, Zainab Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, our Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, and also Prime Minister Zainab Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai. These individuals have led this incredible example of how people, economies, circumstances can bounce back despite adversity. So I think being resilient is extremely important. One other thing I would say is that it has to be extremely imperative that we are tolerant towards each other. We have to have that open environment and those key aspects of being tolerant and coexistence, because these are factors that in the long run really determine the kind of person you are, the character you maintain, and what example you would like to lead forward. Extremely also essential is thinking ahead, being able to manage the ambiguity of situation, because we don't really know what's coming. Nobody was able to anticipate a pandemic, something that really shook the entire world, but we need to be able to plan for ambiguity, and that is something that successful leaders always are able to, because you can be challenged with situations, but the way you handle it is extremely important. Kindness and empathy are also critical leadership skills, and clearly now more important than others. So I would say kindness and empathy is extremely vital for anyone who's looking to build successful leadership skills. We also have to remember to cultivate a culture of respect, because respect is earned, and without it you can't lead. So remember, respect can also be eroded in a very small instance. So never take respect for granted. Cultivate a culture of respect, build strong relationships, because without relationships, you can't lead. So this is one thing that I would highlight in terms of successful leadership skills. Thank you.
All right, ma'am. It was a very wonderful answer from your side, and I think the viewers, those who are watching this session, of course, they are going to learn from it. And the point which you mentioned, I like the most is that we all are leader in personal or say in a professional life. Ma'am, my next question to you: if we talk about the business leadership skills, then how one can develop?
Sorry, your voice broke a little.
ma'am, I'm repeating my question. How one can develop business leadership skills?
Well, I think today's set of business requires different sets of competencies. Business acumen is only one piece of the puzzle, but how you behave and the strength of your character is extremely important. Not just about the numbers, but everything else. So today we know that the demands 24/7, digital, first world, things are changing extremely fast. That's why building that mental and emotional resilience is very, very critical, not just to manage stress, but also to develop the capacity to take on more and to lead and partner with others, collaborate with others. That is extremely important. Fundamentals are already set in place in terms of how those skills are essential for infrastructure, for doing things, for making an open environment, having a liberalized fabric of business, open and tolerant concocting of peace and stability. But then I think what is extremely essential, even in your business capacity, is to really develop that mindset, being able to take timely action, decision, and the culture that benefits everyone, irrespective of gender or ethnicity or any race. That is something that we need to remind ourselves every now and then. Develop a team that is also proactive, agile, educated, and remembers that failing is never an option. One has to go on trying, work together, harmonize every section of society concurrently, because there is something that you have to set down as a leader in your organization, in your communities, in your initiatives, that we have to do it together. Nobody leads singular. We are leading together. That is something that I always believe in. And no leader is successful without people who are able to react in a manner wherein it is successful. No initiative is successful unless people come together and make it successful. So I always say that it's always a collaboration of two people. A successfully led company or a successfully led country is a fine collaboration of the leadership and the people.
All right, ma'am. Again, it was really a very great answer from your side. Ma'am, my next question to you, could you please tell from your experience, our viewers, what is the importance of good and great leadership for successful business? If you could share some previous experiences of your, it will be really very great.
Well, I think definitely good leadership in business is being able to understand that being emotional is perfectly fine. We have to keep on realizing that emotional intelligence is also as important as everything, all the other attributes that one person comes with. Finally, we are not working with robots, we are working with humans. So you have to unban the fact that everyone shouldn't have emotions. It's absolutely normal to have that. One thing from our own personal standpoint, that we make sure to have an open, honest dialogue about everything everyone feels, keeping that dynamic open, being open to feedback, and at the end of the day, this is really helping us. That culture, the consultative approach for leadership, has really helped us, because we not just speak, we hear more. So I personally also propagate that we have to hear our employees, we have to hear people who we work with, our partners, and that has really helped us for a lot of deal making. And one other thing that I would also say is that I always say it's okay to fail. It's perfectly fine. We permit you. There is absolutely no problem, because experimentation, I mean, failure comes from experimentation, and the fact that people do it is so important today, and we don't need to gun them down for this. We have to start celebrating failure. I feel it's more of courage and innovation that we need to be able to fail. If you don't fail, then you're not going to try harder, because the more you fail, the more you'll come up with something that drive inside you also builds much larger. So it's something that I would say that we have to be fine with failure, but we also need to be self-motivating and also motivate others in your team to go on trying, because if you go on trying, you will succeed. That is for sure. Your outcome will be a good learning or success. There is absolutely no failure that one will encounter. Again, like I said, I think the permission to remember that we are human, we are not robots. We don't want people to be exhausted with digital fatigue, because it is extremely fatiguing. It's exhausting. You're fatigued because of digital interactions, so we never overdo them. We make sure that we are people who still enjoy meeting people. We enjoy human interaction. And I don't think that is ever going to go out of place. So I think these are important things. And from my side, I ensure that there is no command and control. Because like I said, I believe in a consultative approach. We need to be able to speak with each other so as to understand that how can we lead together with everyone. Micromanagement has never worked for me. And I think it will never work for anyone who is really having that vision for everyone to succeed. We are not here to succeed alone. We are here so that everyone along with us can succeed. Thank you.
Again, ma'am, it was really very wonderful answer. And the point one which I like the most is that we need to learn and celebrate the failure. It's okay to be fail. Ma'am, my next question to you is that, ma'am, what are the common leadership challenges?
Well, I think definitely there are plenty. I think if you are leading and if you are managing a certain aspect of your professional life, it's always going to be challenging. And the fact that I think you are living a very dichotomous life during these times. One second, you have to be extremely calm and help everyone out. The next second, you have to be excited to inspire people. 1 minute, you have to empower people to be creative and try things on their own. The next minute, you have to instill discipline and say that this is what we are going to do, and everyone has to line up. So I think it's all about prioritizing, having more connection with everyone, more humanity, more trust, more communication, clarity, transparency, and the willingness to be there for people. But there is also a less need of perfection and having all the data before you make a decision. So I think that requires a deep self-confidence, flexibility, and adaptability. But if you don't have that in a crisis situation, then it's all over. So you have to maintain discipline while adapting minute by minute, but you can't worry about the things that you might have missed. So if they are critical, of course you have to worry about them. But if you do something wrong, take a moment to analyze it, determine how do you do it differently. And then you have to let it go because you have other things to worry about. So I think the crisis is a perfect example of a situation that we are in. We have no control over this. There's absolutely nothing that could be done from our personal side to be able to sort of understand how we can navigate it. But these are challenges that we have to undertake despite being in a global pandemic or not. And there are constantly going to be challenges, whether they're human challenges, technical challenges, plenty of them. But the way we react is in our hand. I always say the way you react is in your hand. And you have to be able to understand that the other person over there is also undergoing a lot of challenges. And to be there for people, having an open, honest dialogue is so important today because everyone is bound to make mistakes. We are not machines, we're humans, and we want people to make mistakes so that they learn. So that we learn, they learn, and we understand, we have a checklist of what went wrong instead of what all can go right. What went wrong is charted so that we know that these are the things that can go right. So we analyze things in a way that we understand the right and wrong of the situation and how we can correct it. I think that is a lot to do with the person that you are, the character that you are. And leadership challenges, I think, are more on the lines of human management, time management, to be able to take the feedback, to be able to respond to feedback, to be able to take in all the negativity that comes with so much positivity that I would say. But it's absolutely fine. I think you have to have that character to uphold all of this and just keep doing what you're doing.
Indeed, ma'am. I think it's a kind of privilege today. We got a chance to hear all these points and all these thoughts of you. Ma'am, my next question to you: what do you believe, ma'am? How a good leader must treat, and what is the way how he or she must treat his team or the organization for which he is working?
Well, I think as a leader, as someone, I always say we all are leading. So every one of us is a leader. To be able to work alongside with the team, you have to be extremely open and reinventing. We need to find space for meaningful conversations and build trust with each other. I can tell you that troubleshooting a business with people who don't trust each other is never going to work. So as leaders discovered, there is no sustainable business without people. And that is without human, inspiring, reliable, truthful, and purposeful communication. It is really impossible to keep these people emotionally safe and engaged, especially when you have to work remotely in these times and alone in their homes, adopting technology, at the speed of light. So these are things that we need to remind ourselves can take an emotional toll on employees. So to stay motivated, I think challenge them with possible stories that undermine their self-confidence and security, boost their self-confidence by thinking about the positive, helpful, contributing roles for them in their communities. Share positive feedback with their stakeholders, who's going to really help their morale build. And I think employees also need to make sure to do the work to the best of their ability. Separate work life from setting personal time out for breaks, because like I said, digital communication can be really exhausting. You have to spread positive vibes among your internal and external stakeholders as well, because especially during these uncertain and challenging times. Finally, I think as teams and leaders, we need to commit to continuous development. Keep up with the relevant industry skill sets, developments, progress. Ideally, employees should learn hard skills to operate all technologies that organizations will introduce even in the times to come. They must aspire to understand everything about their businesses and grasp key connections. I think networking is so important. Having an entrepreneurial mindset is something that I also personally encourage. Ethical intelligence, very essential. Bottom line focus, again, very essential. So these are things that we must commit to in our own individual capacity. Because the idea is that I don't want these people to work for me for the rest of their lives. The idea is if they can develop a good outlook out of this experience, and I'll be the first person to support it. Anyone has a business idea or an entrepreneurial journey that they'd like to embark on, I would be the first person to encourage it, instead of thinking that my resources fading out. No, I'm someone who will collaborate and help them out in my best capacity for sure. So I think as people working together, we have to support each other. Instead of looking at external support, you are building a business. First thing that you should do is talk to your family, talk to your friends, talk to people in your network. Trust you me, it works wonders. They will help you out, they will support you in their best capacity, and you must be able to find the correct role models, mentors. Thanks to technology, I think that has opened up very much, and I think these things will help you as a leader or as somebody working for an organization.
All right, ma'am. Ma'am, my next question to, as we have seen that many organization, or say most of the organization organizes regularly a leadership development program. Ma'am, I want to know your opinion. What is the effect and importance of these such leadership development programs?
Well, definitely, I think leadership development programs are essential, and one should, like I mentioned previously, they should be encouraging of developing that skill in everyone, despite their job function in an organization. We are all leaders, and we must remind ourselves of that. That also really brings inclusivity in a company. Ultimately, the goal of everyone should be to allow everybody to contribute to their best of their potentials, and to an extent where where you feel that you are not inclusive, that becomes impossible to do. So we have to remind ourselves of that. So an organization where everyone has the opportunity to contribute and grow opens doors for innovation and progress. I've really learned that diversity and leadership is simply not about mixing people together, but inclusion and making sure that all of those people like that they belong. So we need to create those kind of programs for people, whether it's aligned to produce the results we want, or just to go on encouraging people to take up different things in their particular way. Consciously, we need to do all of this, because this leads to inclusion, diversity, progress, development for everyone. And as the most important strategy would be to ensure that leadership programs should be a priority in every organization. I also believe in early mentoring for young entrepreneurs, ensuring that there are some programs that are specific, and I also contribute in my capacity to those programs, speaking to young ones, because the idea is to really influence them correctly. If you are able to influence someone, that is not the point. The point is, how are you able to influence someone for their own benefit, not for the benefit of us? So we need to look at it from that standpoint, and understand that leadership programs should be a priority. in every organization, in every country, in every geography, it's extremely imperative that we have these kind of programs, and also very competent people leading the same. That's extremely important as well. We need to have the right set of people leading it, because you can really influence someone, or you can really influence someone correctly. So the right people leading the program is also essential. And I think today the world is really adapting to the right kind of people, and wonderful people coming together actually. So many of them really being open to taking these programs and helping each other out. So I think it's a wonderful time that we are in, and I'm hopeful that it only gets better.
All right, ma'am. So we can conclude that the organization which are more diverse and more inclusive perform better than the organization which are not.
100%. I think inclusion was inclusion is where everyone feels welcomed and opinions are valued. A diverse employee base is always something that you will benefit from as a company, as your mission, as your vision for your organization and for the business that you spend so much of time building. So it's extremely important to have inclusion and diversity as key aspects of your leadership programs and everything that you are delivering value for, because that is something that it is upon us and cannot be delegated. We have to do it ourselves.
Ma'am, my next question to you, what do you believe, what are the ways and team management skills that every leader need to know to lead team or handle team more efficiently?
I think we need to ensure that today the leaders, today everybody who's leading teams need to understand that these people are going through an enormous shift, transformation with digital taking over so heavily. We need to know that paying attention to quality and quantity of output, not the speed of response, but by setting deadlines and times to check in, being flexible, so important. Discussing time during the informal one-to-one check-ins, supporting employees' boundaries and signal their own, refraining from sending communication outside of work hours. I don't know how people are constantly doing that, but we need to remind that everybody is having families with kids and social obligations of their own, and we need to be sensitive to that. Also, understanding that minimizing non-urgent interruption, because it's so easy to get carried away, but you need to really prioritize as to what's urgent and what's not. So, encouraging informal collaboration hours and ensuring feedback is something that we should do in our capacity to ensure that our teams also feel that this is great, this is working for us, and we can build something sustainable, come out of this situation, and continue our interactions. And I think these kind of things make the relationship of you and your team better. Instead of deteriorating it, it makes it better.
All right, ma'am. I think there is a lot to learn from your leadership definition, but I don't want to take your much time. So, moving to my last question of this session, ma'am, the question is that as we all know that time we are going through is very challenging because of this pandemic. Ma'am, some entrepreneurs are facing a challenge because they have just started and this pandemic arise. Ma'am, what will be the advice from your side to them?
Definitely, I think for entrepreneurs, one thing that you have to know with or without the pandemic is that you have to be open to failure. We are open to setback, open to challenges, because an entrepreneurial journey is never complete without challenges. It is a commitment to be challenged each day of your life. So you have to keep reminding yourself that. Never be fearful of challenges and any setbacks. As an entrepreneur, keep that at the front of your mind always. Without pandemic, doesn't matter. And of course, I think this is a great time for the ones. Sometimes, let me tell you, businesses are sometimes just made with a laptop and a phone, and sometimes just a phone with internet. So it's absolutely, if you have that idea, it is also not very difficult to find the right kind of resources to be able to build it. It's as simple as the person and the person who's so passionate to drive that idea. So be passionate about your business, believe in your business, be open to failure, setback, no problem, it's very normal. And finally, I think very important to know that you have to find the right kind of allies in your community, in your family, in your professional space, because these people are there to support you, irrespective of whether they encourage you for that business or not, but they are there standing by you. That is so important for an entrepreneur, because it's very, it's easy to get down and feel you're taken down by innuendos or any kind of remarks. But then going on is extremely important. And as humans, we need that kind of allies. Also, be explorative. Be explorative. Be open to innovation. Be open to creating that kind of a culture wherein you can welcome opinions. Don't take criticism to your heart or your head. Criticism is great, but always remember that believe in yourself, believe in your idea, and stand by it. Be resilient, stay with your idea, be passionate, be explorative, find allies for your business, and remember that as a woman, as an entrepreneur, as a leader, it was never simple for me, and even today, it is not very simple for me. It never is. Not that I'm saying it by the virtue of my gender, but in general, it is never simple for anybody. So take that out of your mind if you feel that it's going to be a very simple journey. It is never simple, but then let me tell you, challenges, you need to thrive in challenges. I'm someone who's challenged each day of my life, and I look forward to it every morning. That keeps my days very spontaneous, and there's never a planned day. It's extremely spontaneous. I prioritize. I understand what's important for that coming day. And I think that will come slowly and steadily. But entrepreneurs, this is the best time to come out, build a business, build your idea, and don't be fearful of anything. Be extremely fearless, and remember that there is a place for everybody in this world. Personally, professionally, you have your place in this world. Thank you.
Again, ma'am, I think it is really a very wonderful advice, and I think it is really a very positive and motivating advice from your side, and the kind of energy you brought into the session, it is really very inspiring. And I think it was a very wonderful discussion, healthy discussion with you on the topic. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining and giving your important time. We look forward to conduct more session with you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I extend my gratitude for everybody here and all the ones who will listen to us. Incredible host, Harsh. Thank you so much. And I extend my well wishes for all your endeavors. Hopefully, you will get better, and much better with time. And you have my well wishes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.